Welcome back. It is 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm usually up at this time, but I'm not working yet. I'm here in a garage, a small little workshop in Goodwood. And I'm with the man himself, Arno Arpin. We spoke to you earlier this week in our Hood Hangout. You said, come along and see what I do. Getting up very, very early in the morning. Now, I'm up this time in the morning, Arno, but I only need to start working at 6 a.m. You've been up since what time?
2 o'clock, before 2. Just before 2, yeah, this morning.
And how many cook sisters have you twisted so far?
So far, about 96 times 4.
96 times with my 4 a.m. math brain can't work.
Almost say 392 so far, plus.
Take me through the very quick backstory of Arno Arpin and his now world famous Cook Sisters, because you've been featured on BBC food programs. I think I've seen you on American food programs. You've been featured in magazines and online websites. You've been featured on our show. But take us behind the backstory of how this all came about, Arno.
We were working for the government, my wife and myself, and then we were battling to make ends meet. I had to pay maintenance to my first kids and all that. And then when I end of the month, when I get home, I've got the minus pay slip. If I didn't get the 600 allowance for my house, I would have had nothing. Because then I would have had minus 5 rand pay slip a month after all the deductions. So I had to do something, and I was looking for, and my wife decided one day she's going to ask her aunt, Auntie Koa Rademeyer, and then she was still alive, if she will teach her to make cook sisters. So she said, with all my blessings. Anyway, and then eventually my wife was making, she was standing here frying, I'm plating all the time. And then we decided, no, we make enough money out of Cook Sisters. Oh, wow. So we kicked the job. So my wife resigned.
Wow.
And then when she left the end of the month, so the lady in charge said, oh, I wonder how long Mr. Arpin's going to stay. Anyway, then we were working for the welfare in Cape Town, what's that street? Victoria Street, Queen Victoria Street. And then 14 days later, I just packed up, I was set. I didn't want to work there anymore. So I came home and then we start full time.
So what started out as a necessity to try and
to live better, yeah,
ends up being your full-time job.
Yeah.
So the recipe for the Cook Sisters actually come from your wife's aunt.
That's right.
Okay.
But then eventually it didn't work in the sun out there. It gone pop very quickly. So then I changed the recipe a little bit here and a little bit there until it was fine for me. And so when it worked for me, then I realized if you got a recipe, never change it. I've tried afterwards, little things, and it was a mess. So the recipe that I have today works every time. You get problems with the weather, and when it's very hot or when it's very cold, because the dough as is now, if it was 10 degrees this morning, I could have put it in the dustbin. Wow. It won't work.
So there's a real science behind this, this magic of Cook Sisters.
There's butter in. And when it's very cold, you can do nothing with it, because I haven't got a air-conditioned place here. I got to rely on the weather. But when it's too hot, the same thing happens. If it's made for 10 degrees and the next morning it's 16 degrees, then you can't plat it. It's
What's it like being this little cultural phenomenon here in Goodwood? I have seen you long before I knew Arno Arpin was. I have seen you on the streets here in Goodwood selling your koeksister. And then I start hearing more and more and more. And when I start talking to people, of course we know the uncle with the red shirt selling the koeksisters. You've become a local Goodwood celebrity, but also like this cultural figure in the northern suburbs of Cape Town. How does that feel?
To me, I don't really worry about things like that. I'm just Arno Arpin selling koeksisters, and they know I'm the koeksister man. And lots of people want to have what I have. Lots of people try to get my recipe, but I can even give it to them. If they're not dedicated, they're not going to make a koeksister like
because
I
the
do.
dedication and the koeksister comes in waking up 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, the pre-night prep. And
That's
then
right.
you and Madeleine, you're twisting koeksisters at 4 o'clock in the morning.
And I've got one man working for me now about 16, 17, 18 years. Eugene Boyson. He lives in Lotus River. And he's my right hand, left hand, all the hands. Now, he makes the syrup during the day. He cleans up, he packs. And he mixes the dough in the afternoon before he goes home. And this is how we work. It's only myself, my daughter, and Eugene working in here. Nobody else. And my wife used to work. She's now just the collector of the...
Oh, she's the manager, she's the boss. You're the...
Yeah, call it that way. She does all the to buy the ingredients and all that.
So you've been twisting this morning.
Yeah.
Before I get to try twisting a koeksister. So you're here at 4 in the morning, you'll get done, you start frying. When do you hit the road? What time?
11.
11. Why this long time between frying? Because you already have some in the back.
Cool down.
Okay.
Number one. And Eugene comes in just around about 8. Then he starts packing.
I see.
Get everything ready. But 10 o'clock I get up and then I have a breakfast. My wife makes us breakfast and then 11 o'clock I'll try to be there.
So you go back to bed once this is done?
Yeah. Yeah, then that's my sleeping time, maybe an hour or 2. But in the evenings we get to bed around about 9, sometimes earlier, sometimes later.
Okay.
All depends.
Okay, I'm still used to this early get-up time. Okay, you're going to show me what to do. I have this little string of dough in my hand. Take me through, coach me through what it is I have to do here.
Okay. Now you take both hands like I do. Okay.
Yes.
The one you go right, and this one you turn back.
Okay, it's really starting like a little spiral.
And then you come together, bring your hands together, let it hang down.
Okay, I think I need to stretch it out a little bit more, and then bring it out.
Yeah, carry on, and then press the 2 points.
Oh!
Then you press it and break it down.
Okay.
And you can see. See if yours look like mine.
Because I don't know how delicate.
Put it next to mine. What's the difference?
Yours is a little bit thicker.
No, my one goes left.
Oh!
Yours right.
It doesn't matter whether the spiral goes clockwise or anti-clockwise.
No, not really. Not really, but I can see it immediately.
Hoe sick is jy? How done are you with tasting koeksisters?
No, I don't have to taste them. I know they're good. But sometimes I do. If I get the broken one, then I'll take a piece and see if it's still okay. if everything is still okay. Because there's when I put there's a certain amount. For instance, we take 30 kilogram of sugar in that pot. That works with gas.
Yeah.
And then we got 3 measurements of water, same amount in there. It's about 17 liters, 17 points. And then cream of tartar goes in there, and lemon juice goes in there. But if everything is according to what it's supposed to be, then I don't have to taste it and I know it's all right.
Quickly, tell me about Arno Arpin, the singer. There's a story where a South African singer failed to pitch at a festival. You took to the stage and everyone was more than happy. That was Arno Arpin.
No, not really. It wasn't really that. Now, Pedro Camara, the guy that was on Seven the Line.
Yes.
Pedestrello, Carlos Pedestrello was his name. Now he asked me if I would like to sell koeksisters in Pretoria at the Jacaranda Festival. So I said, well, it's a lot of money. And he organizes everything. And he organized the transport up, everything. It's 1.5 tons koeksisters that I took up.
So you cooked the baked
I made it,
you fried the koeksisters here.
And we went to the cold storage in Epping. They stowed for me until it was all ready. And then it was over 100 boxes. But anyway, and we transport up with these cold trucks, whatever. And then there I went to Pretoria and we stayed there in Magalies Crane at the friend's place. And I was selling there, but it was bad. It was raining and I couldn't sell it. It was a hell of a loss for me. But he organized Sunette Bridges. She came, she introduced me to the people there in the Wellington tent. It's a big place. Big tent. And she says he can't only make koeksisters, but he can sing as well. So, she introduced me and so on. And I was singing there, Koos kom bys, Lisa se klavier.
Oh, lovely.
And one of my own songs, Namakolan's Lente.
You perform as well?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a performer, a legitimate performer?
Yeah.
Koeksister maker, welfare worker, government employee, everything.
Yeah. I used to work in the mines as well.
My goodness.
And
What brings you? What has brought you the most fulfillment?
This is the best here. Koeksisters is the best I've ever done. I should have gone out of school when I was 6. I might have been very rich now. But I've been around.
And just finally, Arno, you known as Mr. Koeksister. What's your thoughts on the koeksister? Because there's a difference.
Yeah.
And it's two very South African things. Sound similar, completely different.
So similar, completely different. I went I was a guest judge for the what's this chef? Master chef at Nederburg, and there I met the lady who made the koeksisters, and Zaini, she's there in Cape Town. What's that place there? Oakap.
Yeah, Oakap.
There, she lives there, and she made, and that was the best I've ever seen. And she was the guest judge for that.
Okay.
For the koeksister. And I tell you, I take my hat off. Hers was the best I've ever seen, and what I've ever tasted. Hers was the best. But she doesn't make. She's old. I mean, I don't know if she's still alive. And I was a judge for the normal. When I got there, they were the koeksisters. They tried to make that Culinese chefs there. I took one look and I said, take it and put it in the dustbin. It's not a koeksister. It doesn't look like a koeksister. So I said, have you got ingredients? Yeah, okay. And I had 25 minutes to make some to put on the plate that I must take up on the before on the shoot. So I used all I cut a knife piece off on a cement so I can cut the stuff. It was a hell of a story. But anyway, within 25 minutes, I had 11 koeksisters, but the plaited one, three string plaited one, and those that was on that those days on the plate, I made it that minutes before I went up onto the shoot. 11 of them,
And that's why Arno Arpin's koeksisters are world famous. South African TV, American TV, BBC, radio, newspapers, magazine articles, and it all happens here in his little workshop.
These koeksisters go to Borneo. I didn't even know where it was.
Borneo, the country of Borneo.
Borneo, there
East Asia, Southeast Asia.
That's right, that's right. Even Ukraine. You name it. Where you get people or South Africans, you get the koeksisters there.
And you still,
Canada.
And you still content every day standing at an intersection.
Mostly nowadays it becomes less and less, because I got so many orders. I can't make more.
Okay.
Because
why don't you employ more people?
it's too much money.
Okay.
Too much problem. I got enough problem with and Eugene, of course. But anyway.
But Madeleine, Anna, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate
it's wonderful.
Thank you so much for taking me through my first plaited koeksister. It may not be the best, but
it looks good.
It looks good.
The Morning Review with Lester Kiewit.
Only on Cape Talk.